vinyl YouTubers, this is Chris. I've got a music update video that I want to make. Before that, just a few comments. This weekend I saw some live streams and heard about some live streams, which I haven't seen yet, but Zeke, the VG Plus geek, put up a little short live clip of him playing guitar, and then I had the pleasure of watching Randy at Deadwax66. He had a live stream last night for a while, and then Dan at Dots and Loops was supposed to come on at 11 Mountain Time with his live stream, but I gave up before it got that late, and I haven't seen the video posted from it. I didn't see Randy's video either, so maybe he just wasn't satisfied with his result, his first time result, but it wasn't too bad. So, but anyway, I've got some records and a couple of CDs. Mostly, I think these are antique mall type things, and Discogs, maybe a couple from Amazon, but majority Discogs and antique mall. So, starting off with this is a upgrade from a cassette. I think it was a cassette I had. Art Tatum Solo Masterpieces Volume 1 on Pablo. Pablo label, X-Library copy, Dunkirk Library. So, the sleeve's a little rough, but the price was reasonable. Just a second. Alright, sorry, I'm back. Next, I got 3 albums by Anthony Davis. He's a pianist. This one's on the PASA, PA-USA label from 1981 and 1982. There's the label, or maybe that's the label. This is Piano and Vibes. So he plays in sort of an avant jazz or chamber jazz type style. Second one, 1987, Undine. This is on Gramavision. You see there was this messy piece of tape that somebody removed, but at least it's a laminated cover, and that's a dry residue, so should be able to get rid of that. This is more on the chamber jazz side: piano, flute, clarinet, bassoon, violin, cello, percussion. And the third in this batch, this was an upgrade from a cassette that I had. Anthony Davis Ghost Factory, 1988. That's also on a white label promo Gramavision. So again, this is Anthony Davis with the Kansas City Symphony Orchestra providing most of the backing. And I upgraded, I think this was another cassette that I had, so Cabaret Voltaire, hi, on Rough Trade. Sort of on the industrial side of things. progressive rock, Far East Family Band, Tenkujin. On the All Ears label, I think that's what it was. $1977. Yeah, All Ears Records, 1977. Far East Family Band. And then Birds, Dr. Birds and Mr. Hyde. This is a UK CBS release, which is an upgrade to the later Columbia issue that I had, a US version, and had a lot of water damage on the front and back. This one has a little bit along the bottom, but this was one, I think I found this one at the antique mall the other day. This was also in that same find with the Birds, Kentucky Woman, and that's pretty much what it goes by. CFS label, Custom Fidelity. Nancy Ebersol is the Kentucky Woman, so I think this is her maybe second album, 1975. But herself and dulcimer accompaniment. So kind of folky. And then country, Porter Wagoner, 1972. What Ain't to Be Just Might Happen. He does a couple of Dolly Parton songs on here, and then majority of the rest of them are his songs. It includes Waldo the Weirdo and The Rubber Room. So he has sort of some darker songs on many of his albums. Orange, RCA, Dynaflex, Porter Wagoner. And then back to folk, Gene Ritchie, None But One. This is on Sire Records. Gene Ritchie, a folk artist from the 50s and 60s. Oh, this is a 77 release on Sire. So, full band behind her. Folk. And this one, I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm assuming that it'll be folk or country. Fred Kohler, Night of the Living Fred. He's got co-writing credits on a few songs with Shel Silverstein, and the rest are pretty much him. On the Alcazar label. $1989. Fred Kohler. And then some Cajun Tinted Country, Doug Kershaw. Flip Flop and Fly. This is 1977 on Warner Brothers. This is pretty much all covers. I think he writes two of the songs on here. And then 1971 might be his second album, Doug Kershaw, self-titled. This one he is, handles the majority of the writing credits. Also on Warner Brothers. And I think this was Discogs. They had these at a cheap price. Buck Owens on the Bandstand. I think this is 1963 on Capitol. And 1967, Buck Owens and the Buckaroos, Your Tender Loving Care. So, Bakersfield tinged country. And I got another Peter Lang guitarist album. This is hard to see in this upper corner here. Lycurgus, The Wolf Driver. This is on Flying Fish label. This is Peter Lang with a band backing him. Mid-70s. 75, that's pretty mid. So last one I showed I think was unaccompanied guitar. This one is Peter Lang with a band behind him. And then Graham Parker, a UK vocalist, singer-songwriter, The Real Macaw, 1983. I think James Griffith had a video recently that featured Graham Parker. So he's got Arista, got Brinsley Schwartz providing accompaniment and other band members, and then more antique mall folk, Joan Baez, 1966, Noel. So holiday folk on this gold Vanguard label. And a little late 60s psych, pop psych, Calliope, Steamed. This is on Buddha Records. Cover has a little ring wear at the top and the bottom. Some more country, Larry John Wilson, Loose Change, 1977. So he's got one side titled Muscle Shoals and one side titled Nashville. So he recorded one side in each location with local musicians there. So give a different emphasis on which side you play. This one was still sealed, haven't opened it up yet. Came from the Antique Mall. I think they were having a 75% off sale. Chris Williamson. This is an upgrade to a reissue that I had. This is the original version on Ampex. So female-oriented folk, country folk on the Ampex label. Chris Williamson. I don't think the reissue was a gatefold. It was reissued by Olivia Music. And then found this recently, Yann Aukerman, Tabernacle. And he's got formerly of Focus, Brainbox. He's a guitarist. So on the Atco label. And I didn't realize it when I got it, but George Flynn, who was, he's a keyboardist that I recently picked up a couple of solo piano albums while he provides some backing on several of these tracks. Yann Aukerman. And then I got some classical. Nicolas de Grieg, complete organ works as played by Marie Claire Alain on Musical Heritage Society. The back is just an ad for Johann Sebastian Bach organ works, but the inside is related to de Grieg on this version of the Musical Heritage Society, and these were pressed by Columbia Special Products. And I don't recall the year of that, but that was all the vinyl. And I picked up a couple of CDs recently. Georgi Ligeti, Etudes, Books 1 and 2, as played by Adele Beret, who I just picked up a couple of her albums on Finadar label. And then I saw that she'd done other things, so this is on Naxos. And these etudes were originally or composed regardless of whether people could play them. So they were sort of intended originally for a player piano like Conlon Nancarrow. But Adele Beret figured out a way that they could be played. So Ligeti, and I picked up 2 Toro Palestine albums, CDs. This one is The Apocalypse Will Blossom. So this is solo piano compositions played on a Bosendorfer from 2007. Charlemagne Palestine, experimental, avant-garde composer. Second one also from 2007, from Etudes to Cataclysms. This one was, I forgot to mention, hard to tell. This is also sort of solo piano, subtitled for Doppio Borgata, which is a special keyboard or piano, grand piano with 2 bodies. So the upper one is the full 88 key keyboard. The bottom one plays the lower 37 keys. So you can play it with hands on the top and feet on the bottom. So I guess Mr. Palestine had some experience with that. Maybe he'd played an organ in church. But that's what these compositions are for. 2 CD set, Sub Rosa, this one. So, and then just I had this out, so thought I'd show it. Dolly and Shirley Collins, For As Many As Will. I was looking on Discogs at comparing their listing with CDs that I had in my collection. I don't have. I think I have one LP that's Shirley Collins with the Albion Band, and this one I couldn't find in Discogs. I had other versions. This is on a reissue of the 1978 album. This is on Fledgling, a 1999 issue, and they had one that was 2011 or something, but had the same CD number. So have figure that out and update Discogs for this. So that was my recent finds, music update, plus that bonus CD that I threw in. So thanks everybody. See you later.